Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back into another video. More lore just came out, and we're gonna check it out and see exactly what it is about. And I can spoil it a little bit already. It's related to both Seris and Furia and the Abyss and the Pyre, etc. So, what do they say here on Twitter? The first little line here that just sets the tone for this theme. With Azan's arrival, Furia was no longer the Pyre's sole voice in the realm. Now, as the Abyss looks to strike back, she finds herself caught between duty of the Pyre and the humanity still within her. All roads lead back to Seris. So, now if we go here into the post, some of you might not be familiar with the entire story, so I'm just going to break it down real fast. The city of Seris, which is this one here represented here on the back of the map, was actually a perfectly normal place, but a rift opened for the Abyss, and somebody was tasked with the mission to close it, and that would be Corvus. Now, Corvus, why Corvus? Because he was already studying essentially stuff from the Abyss. He was already studying, all those powers, crystals related to the Abyss and so on, so it was him who was sent over to take care of this. Now, before anybody starts saying that I'm just making up stuff, I did spoke to a developer back in the day that was in charge of the lore that confirmed to me 100% that the dagger that Corvus has was already in his hands before this entire event happened, and this is why he survived the entire event to then continue to just do his thing. So, with that in mind, he went in there and he thought that the rift required a sacrifice, and once they got a sacrifice, they would just close, and that's it. Problem is, they really didn't want that. Instead, they wanted a puppet, right? They wanted a body so they could possess it to then go around and just do their bidding here on the realm, because apparently they can't just immediately just get out of the Abyss and come over to the realm. And that's when, Seris comes up, because Corvus selected one of the two sisters called Abby, and Abby was then sacrificed to the portal, to the rift, and then in the end it went completely sideways. We see an abyssal lord coming out and actually burning the soul out of Abby, and instead putting the soul of an oracle of the abyss, also the same oracle of the abyss that before sort of lended a hand to Nyx after she was a bit upset with the Pyre. Now, I don't know if this happened before the entire city of Seris happening or if it happened after, but essentially she became Seris. Sarah, which was the sister, at that time went to the church at the exact same time this was all happening, asking for aid, and instead she got powers from the Angel of Vengeance, Furia, who then still, Sarah's still there, but Furia is the one in charge, right? It's like they're working together, they fuse together similar to the entire Dragon Ball fusion kind of thing. They're two people, but there's one personality and that's the one controlling it, but they both together live in there, and that's similar to that. But that same developer also confirmed to me that there was at least a thought of making it look like Seris would never be able to return back to normal, because they burned out her soul of Abby to put the oracle inside, so there's not, first of all, not a chance to go back, and second of all, not to have somebody inside just trying to fight back and take away control for the oracle of the abyss. So then, obviously, they destroyed the city of Seris. The only people that survived were Seris, Furia, and Corvus. Corvus obviously just sneaked his way out of there. Furia that was then after Seris, trying to save her sister, or at least kill Seris or whatever. And Seris actually got the name Seris because she destroyed the city of Seris. There you go. So then there's more lore after that, but that's the only lore you need to know right now for this. There's one more part, which is Seris then by using her little powers of the abyss, convinced Corvus into be stupid enough to summon another abyssal lord from the abyss, which was Ram. And then Ram double-crossed them, thinking, oh, you thought you were gonna be my boss or something, or control me? Yeah, no. So then Ram just, worked together with Seris, and now they're doing their own little thing. So that's the only lore you need for this. So now that we have that in mind, we're going to go here and we're going to start reading this real quick. Two sides, two beings defined by their past. Seris and Furia, obviously. Abby and Sarah. While all conflicts can consume others, none had taken as much as that between the Abyss and the Pyre. A clear example of such, that of Sarah, the being known now as Furia. So there you go. While changed, Sarah still resides inside of her. Fueled by the vengeance of her lost sister, she merged with the Pyre entity, who used that vengeance to channel its power, becoming the angel of vengeance that the realm so needed. So they're fused together, but they're still there. You know, Sarah's still there. It didn't went away. However, now there was another being, one even above them, and he was set in his ways. And that would have been, I'm having the small little idea that they are talking about Azan, because Azan is literally mentioned in the next line, so I'm thinking that's what they mean. I was gonna say Nyx initially, but it's probably Azan. Azan made his decision. The realm was to be purified, their lives less important than the cause of fully preventing the Abyss from controlling it. He lacked faith in those who occupied the realm, unfamiliar with their persistence in the face of adversity. He saw their failures as obsolete, where Furia knew it was part of their strength. Their failure led them to be better. Sarah's failure is what created her. She would plead with him to allow them to fight for themselves. However, his view was clear. They were no match for deities, aliens, and even their own crystals. They would all die so he could preserve absolute control. So this pretty much we already know from the Azan lore. He helped out with Yago and saw that, okay, you guys can't handle this, obviously, I have to come here and help. So I already know that the Abyss is already going around, there's Seris and Rom, so you either deal with that or I'm going to burn everything to ashes. This is his idea, right? And yeah, essentially that's what he still aimed for, and as you can see here, Furia is trying to stop him, but nothing there allowed her to change his mind. Sorry. The realm was unaware of this fate, but Furia, she knew they'd want the other choice, the choice she would want. They would seek vengeance, some against the abyssal creatures attempting to consume their world, some against the magistrate that took from them all, like they took Abby. So in this part, she identifies herself with them, right? And she knows for a fact that they would never go, you know, for the easy choice. They would fight, and this is what Fury's been doing all this time, and she hasn't given up, and she knows that they wouldn't give up either. No matter how far gone they were, she still kept the memento, a lock of hair reminding her of the meaning of her fight, their need to survive. So there you go, exactly what I just said. While Azan summoned forth the Dawnforge, a weapon that could release his plans, Furia departed to scour across the realm any other way of preventing this. After some time, she would discover their next plan. An abyssal crown had been spotted, one associated with the name Azan only whispered in distant memories. It was too late if the Dawnforge had been summoned, but it hadn't been activated. As she flew back, she realized it was gone, as if it had moved without so much of a word. So the latest map that was released into the game, which was the Pyre of Dawnforge, is essentially a military forge for the Pyre, where they can summon and create weapons, and essentially that's what they're doing. If you go into the map, you'll see this, where they're creating Pyre warriors, and those Pyre warriors will then be sent over through portals that you see around that will be then going over to the realm and essentially killing and burning everything to the ground. This is Azan's plan. Just, you know, fire up the old forge, start making weapons, send them over and destroy everything. But then, you know, Furia was trying to find out a way. She found out about Nyx. She tried to come back for warning it, and now the Dawnforge is gone. And I wonder if you guys are aware that, you know, when the Nyx trailer came out, it showed us a little bit that Nyx took control of the Dawnforge. So if you didn't know that, you now know. She immediately began to search for Azan in the Dawnforge to no avail. The Pyre was vast, one she had no direct experience on, and couldn't traverse to on her own. The pyre entity within her knew some, but Sarah's lack of time, experience, and connection with the pyre entity made it difficult to process anything beyond the realm, and he was nowhere on it she could find. She even would ask various beings, peers in past conflicts. However, the pyre had long lost any trust they built and had done nothing to build it up once again. So, essentially, we're getting some information that the pyre is not actually just at Dawnforge. There's a bigger place, right? Dawnforge is just like a mobile military base for the pyre almost. But we now know that there's a pyre itself. And unfortunately, her connection between her and Furia is not actually that strong. So she can't really, use the knowledge from Furia to navigate through the pyre to try to find Azan. The price of their virtue-bound mission has caught up to her. How could Azan have left her behind? Had he lost his faith as well? His desire to persistence finally worn down to the point to complete dissolution? Was this because she was part human? Even as peers, she was not worth his respect? Her fury slowly left the abyss, and now aimed instead at the ally she thought she had. So now she's starting to question things. Why did he disappear? Because she doesn't know that Nyx already attacked the base. She now thinks that he's just against her, that he doesn't care for her, and now instead of being angry at the abyss, she's starting to hate Azan a little bit. With no hope left in finding Azan, she turned to a desperate source of answers, the place where this madness began for them all, the town of Seris. She took flight, looking for a clue in the remains of where she lost her loved ones. She had fought alongside the realm with the resistance against the magistrate against Yagarath. She would not lose the others as she lost her sister. As Fury approached the remains of the destroyed town, she felt as the abyssal power grew and grew, far more than what she would have remained. That should have remained, sorry. As she arrived, she finally understood why. The rift has returned. Besides it was the Oracle herself. Like a mockery of the past, Sarah stood in the very spot where Abby was lost, and where she was also born. So now she's going back into the place of the city of Seris where everything blew up. There's like abyssal crystals all over, everything is blow up, and just everything's went to crap. And now she gets there, and in the same spot that they sacrificed Abby, she sees Seris. Because why? She's trying to fix that portal and essentially allowing Nyx to summon everything from the abyss to come over to the realm and destroy everything. So funny how both Nyx and Azan have the same idea, but one is they're both are for control, but one is more on the, I want to control people, I want to be like the queen, and the other one is more like, I want control even if I have to delete everything, and that's it, right? So Nyx is planning on imprisoning and having her abyssal creatures over there. Azan is just planning on destroying everything. Now Seris is helping her, so that's not a good sign. Fury's entire soul burned brightly with a single-minded purpose: the destruction of this abomination, the end of all their strife. She felt if she could expunge Seris now, the abyss would never take the realm away from them again. She swooped in to fight the being, but right before her blade could connect, she was pulled back by a tear and reality formed behind her. Sight beyond sight, you were anything but surprising. Seris approached Furia with calm determination, unfazed by the presence of the angel at her ritual. Furia launched a column of light at her figure, but in a blur of shadows, Seris disappeared as the beam passed harmlessly where she once stood. So, a little bit of a fight just starting off here. In the shadows, the voice continued to speak. The abyss will rise, your attempts remains futile. Your forge captured. So now, she already has this information. Something happened to the forge. It was captured. So maybe, just maybe, she has realized that Azan is not actually against her. Azan has just been captured. But her relaxing, taunting tone only emboldened the raging Furia. As Seris reappeared, Furia launched forward with her blade catching the Oracle and knocking her to the ground. You will leave me no choice, Abby. And this is Furia speaking, obviously. She yelled as she continued to swing against the Seris form, slowly backing her towards the chasm containing the rift. So I'm imagining her plan was to throw Seris into the rift and then closing it. With every swing, the memory of souls spewing from the abyssal portal still burned into her mind. And then Seris comes up with this. Abby, you are too close to them. They are merely vessels. Abby is gone. So as you can see, the same theory that I've been saying for quite a while, and there was actually people who called me a liar, or just a person who didn't know what the hell I was saying, has just been confirmed with this sentence alone. Abby is gone. Now, could it have been that she's bluffing, and even if Furia defeats Abby and somehow, I don't know, does like some exercise or whatever and takes away the Oracle soul inside of Abby, would Abby be back? We don't know. But essentially, based on what I can see, Seris might have to die entirely, both Abby and Seris. Like, there's no in between, right? Furia faltered as Seris' words echoed in her head. It only took that one moment of weakness for Seris to gain the upper hand once again. Furia felt agony in her very soul, and with her core shaken, she felt stunned to the ground. Soon she will return, and everything will be hers to use, even you. This was Seris speaking again. With those words, Seris turned away, returned to her work mending the rift, as if Furia's presence wasn't even an afterthought. Furia shook off the weight of the souls. Abby may have been gone, but the Oracle still stood. She would only have one more shot at this, one last chance to earn her vengeance. Summoning the might of the pyre, the very thing she represented, she green-flamed and dashed with her sword raised. But as she swung down on Seris' turned back, a flash of red appeared between them, and she felt herself helplessly flying through the air. As she crashed against the ruined buildings, she heard the familiar sound of a Gatling gun igniting. So this is Rom, obviously, and Rom is showed up to help Seris, so Fury's outnumbered. Rom. She recognized the rageful laugh. He was the beast that she could not fell on her own, now working with Seris. She was one person, now against two Abyssal Lords, working together. Two. You forgot about Nyx? Azan was missing. How could he leave her to fight alone? Okay, so even after Seris saying that the forge was captured, she still hasn't connected 2 + 2, and so she still thinks that Azan just left her. In this case, even if Azan was to plan to burn everything to the ground, I would doubt it that he wouldn't go and help Furia and just destroy everything, right? Because, I mean, are you really gonna let them open that portal? No matter how much she was willing to give, she could not win this fight. Not right now. Not alone. She already heard it from them. Something worse was coming, and they would all need to be prepared. Bullets filled the air, chasing her as she departed. She was defeated, but not done. So, Furia retreating here because she doesn't really stand a chance versus those two, while Seris is literally just still mending the portal and not giving a flying F against Furia. We got then Rom just trying to fight her, and it's an Abyssal Lord, so it's not necessarily just a little angel like Furia, so good luck with that. If she can't even fight Seris, imagine having to fight Rom. There will be a next time. She can't lose once it arrives. She could not save one breath. For what Furia's sought, only vengeance could provide. The realm must be fought for, the realm must stay. For she was Furia, the flame of vengeance incarnate. She would do what none has done before. She would defeat the Abyss and Seris with it. All she would need is what the Pyre actually lacked: friends. So I guess, just cue the music of family and friends and whatever from Fast and Furious. It's interesting what she's saying here. What is being said here is that they're planning on going again with the entire story of joining everyone together to fight one single entity. It makes sense, although I'm gonna be honest, it feels a bit repetitive. It does give us a lot of information here that we needed for both Furia, Seris, Nyx, and what's coming next, what their plan is next. Now we know that the next stage here is basically Seris opening a portal, very much likely succeeding, and some of the monsters actually coming out and, probably destroying everything. But hold off that thought just for a second there. And here it is. So essentially, Thunderbrush, before he left the company at around December 23rd, he published this picture. And as you can see, it does resemble a little bit of a fight between the Pyre and the Abyss. Seems to be some sort of a floating base, similar to the Dawnforge. And having the Pyre Angels over here, you can see a lot of them are very similar to Furia. And a little information here that not a lot of people know, but this weapon was initially meant to be the first weapon of Furia. It was one of her sketches, and then they canceled it. Then here we have some others, which, it's funny to see Dumba's snake sort of in the weapon of Androx's. Characters here that look like Sky, and even Satis, and etc. How they sort of are already hinting us towards that Abyssal and Pyre fight, right? So as you can see here, close up to this, and we can see here some of the abyssal rifts on the floor with some tentacles and stuff. Pretty wild. But then not just that, he also presented to us this. This was something he was actually exploring, but I would actually be super happy to see something like this. I don't think this is a Caspian skin, but it has a sort of like a semi-automatic pistol with a sword, and then this one has what seems to be like some sort of a magnum style. And I love the style, like it's fantastic. This could actually be a whole new story, right? Here's some other characters he also designed. Old champion concept, there you go, the Pyre Bullet Witch. So weird weapon, doesn't really match, but the skin is the character itself looks amazing. He also showed us this one. So this one here is what would be called an Echo Champion, a champion that would be very similar to Tyra, but having her own unique set of abilities and so on that would very much work with some of the animations and body structure of Tyra. As you can see, even the weapon is very, very similar. And then she would look like this. So this would be another Pyre warrior. This is some other designs to the character, as you can see, in case they would have to decide for going ultimately with another thing. And here's one that he actually showed us. And it's also another champion who never got to be used, but this one is a champion that seems to be half Pyre, half Abyss, and that's actually very interesting because that would signify something similar to Nyx, right? Which I think that's what they were aiming for, and then eventually they just cut it off. But I would love to see a character like this. But this also looks like a champion of an Echo champion to Androx's. All right, similar to his entire body structure. This is sort of like the pose he does on his ultimate, so you can understand my point here. So yeah, ultimately, I think some of these actually went away, unfortunately. But I think that, Thunderbrush might have already been teasing us a little bit here to what's to come to the future. Very, very nice. So there you have it, folks. Let me know down in the comments below, what do you think that the future of the lore is going to be? Do you have any theories to what's going to happen? Do you think Azan is dead? Do you think that they're actually going to continue with this story with releasing champions related to it, skins, maps, etc.? Do you actually think that it's just going to stay for the lore? I want to hear your theories. Go down in the comments below and just abuse it, just spam them comments. But other than that, thank you so much for watching. That'll be it for today. That is I think, number 4 chapter of Chronicles. I would not know 100%. But also just to end the video entirely, if you go to PDS and it's still open, there is an avatar, which is just Seris laughing, that has this as the definition of that avatar. And Cryptek actually had already mentioned this. Okay, that's Furia dancing. Very nice. And here it is. So on this little post here, Cryptex said this: Paladins Chronicles versions for 26 of 2023. Sorry. So essentially, yeah, I had the theory that this was going to be the date that the Chronicles came out, and I was right, but I just never had the chance to see this on a video, unfortunately. But yeah, this is basically letting us know that this was on the PDS, and there it is, and it's called Rise of Seris, sorry. So since we have Rise of Furia, now it's time for Rise of Seris. It makes a lot of sense. Pyre presence detected. Initiate vengeance mitigation protocol. All right, very cool, very cool. Drafting progress. It was basically them telling us they were gonna be releasing this at this date. Very nice. I'll be paying attention soon enough to see if there's another date teaser for more lore. And just check my Twitter, you know, like if you don't know my Twitter, boom, it's right here. It's Kreepers YT. Find me on Twitter and follow me, and I'll make sure that you get nothing but good information, okay? Thank you so much for watching. I'll be seeing you guys on the next one. Till then, have a wonderful time. Bye-bye.